Bobby Cinema. How you doing? It's Allan. It's Allan Keyser from Mama's Family. It's Bubba. How you doing, man? What's going on? I really appreciate you enlisting me from Cameo. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You know, it's funny you mentioned that because well, for a couple of reasons. One of my sisters always told me I reminded her of Billy Ray Cyrus, which I thought was really cool. If I remind you of somebody, it might as well be somebody, cool. He's really kind of a badass. and I like that. I dig it. And then, are you kidding me? I would have loved to have been on that show. Would have loved to. And the second reason, it's funny that you mentioned that. I just spent the weekend with Vicki Lawrence and Dorothy Lyman in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Fanboy Convention, which was awesome. And, when you do a reunion like that, usually there's a conference or a question and answer. And so people fill up an audience and you answer, questions from the audience and so forth. And one of them, and I thought Vicki really took the high road. She was so classy when she answered. Somebody said, what's the deal with Miley Cyrus? Why did she seem to have gone off the deep end or whatever and done all these crazy things? And Vicki was so classy and articulate about it. She said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something to the effect of, she didn't want to be, pigeonholed as Hannah Montana. She wanted to break out from that mold, from whatever. And the thing is that she is so phenomenally talented. Vicki said that girl's got so much talent in her, and she's smart. She's very intelligent. She's going to land on her feet. She's going to do great work, really, for the rest of her life. Madonna, Pink, whatever type of singing and work for the rest of her life. She said something to that effect, and I thought it was so classy because not that she would have done otherwise or said something disparaging, but it was nice to hear, to be sitting next to her, because everybody's like, oh my God, this girl is out of her mind. But I went out of my mind, during and after Mama's Family. So, I know what that's like. You're trying to break a mold. You're trying to break you're pigeonholed in this, type of character, and you want to break loose from that. So, I know what that's like. But anyway, it was a fun weekend. If you're ever near us, I always post, whatever conventions I'm going to be at. Doing one in Quincy, Illinois now is the next one in October. First weekend of October. I can't remember the name exactly of the convention, but it's in Quincy, Illinois, first weekend of October. If you're around, if you live in that area, come and see me. What it was like to work with Ken Berry, forgive me if I digress, because it's hard for me to even talk about him because he was such a good friend of mine and a mentor, and I have a hard time even talking about him to this day, 3 or 4 years after he died. We were that close, and I looked up to him so much, as far as what his work was like. Like Carol Burnett said, he was born about 1 or 2 decades too late. If he would have been a star, in the 40s and 50s as a song and dance man, he could have been Fred Astaire or Gene and just any. He was so talented. He was such a wonderful dancer, had a beautiful singing voice, good actor. He was a triple threat, as we say, and he just was amazing, and he was so funny on that show. Working with him on that show, we laughed. He was so funny, and every week it was, it was a laugh factory at rehearsals, during the show, and everybody, all artists, all actors, they save a little bit of that adrenaline and that funny or that drama or whatever it is, for the performance, for the taping, for the recording of the show, or if you're on stage. You know, you always save a little bit for that audience, you know. And God, he was so much fun to work with, and Vicky always introduced him to the audience as her right arm, and it's true. We've had people, I mean, over the years, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of requests to do a reboot. We can't. There's no way to do it without him. I mean, honestly, he was that integral to the ensemble, and the hilarity, you know, and the comedy, and just the shtick he would come up with. And he would go like this. He'd go, "You mean Mama and me? Me and Mom?" Like, he would do the funniest, silliest shtick that he would come up with. He didn't even have to be directed. You know, the director didn't even have to direct him. He would just be coming. Oh my God, he was hilarious. And as a friend, like I said, I mean, my oldest son shares the same birthday with Kenny, November 3rd, and so that was always something, you know, that I thought was special. And I would call him every year on his birthday, and we'd talk a couple, you know, times, or 2 or 3 or 4 times a year, otherwise. And yeah, that last time I called him on his birthday. I talked to him on November 3rd, and I think he passed away on the 18th or the 23rd or something, you know, like 2-3 weeks later. And it was just, I was devastated, and I still am. I just miss him so much. I miss the conversations and so forth. So I'm really glad we got to get together about 9-10 years ago now to do the reunion where we made the DVDs. And if you don't have that DVD, pick it up, because it's wonderful. You know, we did a roundtable discussion about the show, and then they segregated each of us to talk about the other guys, you know, behind their backs and stuff. And I'm so glad we got that done. And I mean, he was 80 years old then. And anyway, so that's what that was like. But anyway, Bobby Cinema, I like that name, Bobby Cinema. Thanks for you know, enlisting me, retaining me, to say hello. I really appreciate these cameos, because it makes me feel so relevant and fulfilled, that somebody out there appreciates my 35-year-old work, you know, as an actor. So thank you for that. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it. I'm being sincere. So thank you very much. You have a great day. And a great night. And like I said, if you're anywhere near me when I'm at a convention or something, stop in, say hello, remind me of this conversation, and you have a great day, okay? All right, thanks again. Appreciate it.